Hello and welcome to the Board Game Diner, where we're serving up a full menu of fun of the cardboard variety. I'm John Fliss, and I'll be your server for today. We're smack dab in the middle of a golden age of amazing, challenging, and fun board games unlike anything most people are used to. And I'm here to be your guide. There's something to be said about gathering around the table with friends and family and having a fun shared experience. It's a great way to socialize and stretch your brain. Here at the Board Game Diner, the menu consists mainly of welcoming games. These are fun, accessible, easy to learn games that everyone can enjoy. And at the diner, you get a flight of games in every episode. Today, I'm going to serve up some games you can find at regular stores near you. If you've happened by the board game section at your local store, a Barnes & Noble or Target, you'll have noticed they are offering a much wider selection than before. I want to give a special shout out to Target here too. This isn't an ad, but they have really embraced modern gaming, even coming out with their own line of games. And you may think, oh, big box store coming out with their own line of games. But they're good games, so big props to them for supporting the hobby. Now, what I'm serving up for you today is a selection of games that may catch your eye walking down the aisle at your typical stores. This is by no means a complete list. I could do multiple episodes on the games available, but I wanted to highlight a couple to get you started. So let's get to it. The first game on the menu is one you've probably seen a zillion times at stores and maybe have heard people talking of, Settlers of Catan, although now it's just Catan. It's a game for 3 or 4 players and takes about an hour or 2 to play. In this game, you're rolling dice to gather resources, trading those resources, and building up settlements, roads, and cities to get points. Players begin by placing out their starting settlements and roads on intersections of tiles. When those tiles get rolled, they produce resources for players. 1 for each settlement, 2 for each city. There's sheep, wheat, wood, brick, and ore. You use these to build more roads and settlements. If you need something you don't have, then you've got to make trades with other players. Wheat for sheep? Anyone got sheep? The game ends when someone reaches 10 points. This is a classic to introduce people into modern board games. Tons of people enjoy it. I myself find it too random with the rolls of the dice, and games tend to take a little too long for my taste. But it really helps transition people used to Monopoly. There's also a great 2-player version of this called Rivals of Catan, but I won't spend time on it now. That will be in a later episode on 2-player games. Up next is an unusual game, but it's a big hit with everyone I've played with. It's called Dixit. It plays 3 to 8 players and takes about 30 minutes. The title Dixit is Latin for he or she has said, and the game is about giving the right clue. Everyone has 6 cards with surreal artwork on them. The active player picks one and places it face down on the table. Then they utter a word or short phrase that gives people a clue, hinting at the image. Everyone else playing needs to pick a card that they think matches the clue and throws it in the pile. The cards are shuffled and laid out on the table. Now everyone votes for which card they think is the original. Here's the catch. When you're giving the clue, you want people to pick your card, but you don't want to make it so obvious that everyone picks your card. If that happens, you get no points. If at least one person picks your card, you get 3 points. As for everyone else who played cards to try and match yours, they get a point for every person who picked theirs instead of the real one. For me, a good game offers tough decisions. The tough decision in this game is figuring out just the right clue. You want people to get your card, but you don't want it to be so obvious that they all do. It's a fun challenge, and it's always interesting to watch how other people's brains work. You may find yourself saying, how the heck does that match your card? It's a great game for everyone, but you'll have to watch the younger kids, as they might not be able to make the more abstract connections required. This next game is one you should be able to see almost anywhere that sells games. It's called Azul, and it plays 2 to 4 players and lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. Each player is trying to complete as much of a pattern as possible and score victory points. Players take turns picking all of one tile from any one of these plates. Then they place it on their board. Each row needs to be all the same. So if there's a red here, all the rest need to be red. Whatever tiles are not picked go into the center. If you took more tiles than you can place, they go in this penalty area, which will give you negative points at the end of the round. Each player continues taking turns until there are no more tiles on the plates or in the center. Any row that's filled fires off. You place the rightmost tile where it belongs, scoring points. You get a point for the tile and any adjacent tiles. The rest are removed from the board. Any unfinished rows remain. Finally, any tiles in the bottom row, you subtract the points listed above it. Then you refill the plates and start again. This continues until someone has completed a horizontal line on their board. This one is a fun challenge to be had. Obviously, my description is only an overview. There are more rules to the game, but you get the gist. If you're a fan of Sudoku, this would be a fun one for you. Taking the tiles from the plates and trying to get all the ones you need gives some great back and forth in the game. For puzzly people, this is a must. This next game is absolutely terrible. You'll get no enjoyment out of it whatsoever. Or am I bluffing? That's what Coup is all about. In Coup, you're trying to bluff your way to victory. This game will play 2 to 6 people, but the more you have, the better it is, and it only takes about 15 minutes or less. Each player has 2 cards that only they can see. There are a deck of cards with 3 copies of each of 5 different characters. Each character has its own unique power. The Duke lets you draw 3 coins each turn. The Captain lets you steal from another player and block others from stealing from you. The Assassin lets you pay 3 coins to take out another player's card. The Contessa blocks the Assassins. And the Ambassador lets you exchange one or both of your cards with one from the deck for new rolls. So on your turn, you need to do an action. There are a variety. Take a coin from the center. Take 2 coins from the center. Do any of the unique character powers, whether you have that character or not. But someone may call you out if they don't believe you. And that's the central piece of this game. If you claim you're the Duke and I think you're lying, I can call you out. If you are the Duke, you show it, put it back in the deck, shuffle, and draw a new card. You could theoretically get the Duke back. And since I was wrong, I have to lose one of my cards by flipping it face up. Once you lose both cards, you're out. Now, if you were lying and you weren't the Duke, then you lose one of your cards by flipping it face up. And this whole time of bluffing and lying and assassinating, everyone is racing to get 7 coins. Because when you can get 7 coins, you can coup someone. That means they lose one of their cards and there's nothing they can do about it. It's done. The game takes a little getting used to. It comes with a card players can keep in front of them so they know what each roll does. So there is a slight learning curve there, but man, oh man, once you get rolling with this, it's a great game of deception and intrigue. What does your opponent have? What can you get away with? I've seen a game where all 3 Dukes were face up on the table, meaning there were no more in the game, and someone tried to bluff that they were the Duke, and they succeeded. That person felt quite the rush pulling that off. And the most tense moment? When someone tries to assassinate another player and that player says they've got the Contessa. It's a risky play because if they get called out and they're lying, they lose a card. And the assassin still gets his target, so they lose their other card. One move and they're out of the game. But if they can pull it off, oh boy, it's a great game in a small package and doesn't take long at all to play. Continuing in the same vein of great things come in small packages and hidden roles, we've got Love Letter. There's a bunch of variations to it, including Star Wars Love Letter, Batman Love Letter, and a horror-themed Lovecraft letter. But in this game, you're trying to get your love letter to the princess. You want to be either the last one standing or have the highest card at the end of the round. The higher value the card, the closer your letter is to the princess. The game is very simple. Everyone gets 1 card. On their turn, they draw a second, and you have to choose which of those cards you play. Each card has an action and must be done when you play it. The round continues until someone wins and they get a favor token from the princess. Then you play again, and keep playing until a player has a certain number of tokens based on how many are playing. This is a fantastic welcoming game for anyone. I used to play this with my son when he was 6 years old. They don't even have to know how to read if they can learn to recognize the pictures on the cards. It's so easy to learn because you're literally choosing between option A or option B. People who don't like keeping track of a bunch of information don't have to. It's this card or that. An example of some of the powers: you can try to guess another player's card, you can make someone else discard a card, or trade cards with another player, or the princess herself. She is the highest value, guaranteeing you win if you make it to the end of the round with her. But if you ever have to discard her for any reason, you lose. Fun game, tiny package, great for the whole family. It has very simple rules, but man, you can turn it into a great game of getting into each other's heads. Highly recommend. In our next game, players take on the roles of jewelry merchants, racing to be the most renowned jeweler, collecting gems and buying bigger and better things, hoping to attract the attention of wealthy patrons. So let's sample Splendor. This game plays 2 to 4 people and takes about 30 minutes. The goal is to be the first player to reach 15 points by getting development cards and noble tiles. On your turn, you can do one of 3 things. Collect gems, taking 2 of the same type, or 3 different ones. You can take a development card into your hand from any of the face-up ones on the table, or draw one from the top of a deck, but you can only have 3 at the most. You also get a gold token, which is a wild. It can be used in place of any other gem. Lastly, you can build a card, either from the table or from your hand. You pay the cost listed in the corner, then the card is yours and it goes in front of you. You now have that many points toward the end of the goal of 15. Also, this gem in the corner counts towards future purchases, so you don't need as many raw gems to buy stuff. It increases your buying power the more you buy. At the end of your turn, you see if you've attracted any nobles by having what they're looking for. If you meet the criteria, they come over to you, and now you have their points counting to your score as well. This is a light race to 15 points. It's a neat way to open up a player's mindset from a lot of typical board games most people are used to. This gives you a bunch of options to get to 15 points. Do you go for this one or that one? Which nobles do you want to try for? It lets you pick and choose your route to victory. Will it get you there sooner than everyone else? Give it a try and find out. Looks like your time at the diner is almost done. So let's go over the check. Today we covered gaining and trading resources to build up settlements and cities in Catan, completing tile patterns for points in Azul, bluffing and assassinating our way to victory in Coup, trying to gain the favor of the princess in Love Letter, and collecting gems, buying developments, and gaining the favor of nobles to be the best gem dealer in Splendor. Normally, you would tip the server. One of these days I should put my Venmo up and you can. Ha! But at the Board Game Diner, the server has a tip for you. Today's tip, don't buy games. At least not yet. Listen, I speak from experience and I see most people getting into gaming do the same thing. When you play one of these modern board games, it's amazing. Quite possibly the coolest game you've ever played. You need to get it and play with all your friends. And the next game, wow, it's so awesome. I need to buy that too. Here's the thing. When you're used to Monopoly and Clue and checkers, most of these games you'll play are cool and different. But as you play more and more of them, you find out what you really like, which games you're drawn to more. You realize what will get played with the people in your circle of friends and family and what won't. So that's my advice. Play lots of games before you start buying a lot. I've seen so many purges of games and participated in them too. When you realize what you like and then get rid of the games you know just won't make it to the table. Save your wallet and your closet some hassle. Take it easy off the bat and just enjoy playing. When you find your thing, you'll know. Then you can start building your collection. Well, time for me to close up shop for today. Thank you for stopping by the Board Game Diner. Hope you become a regular. Next time, we're serving up party games. When a group gets together, that's the most likely time to bust out a game, so I'll show you some great ones to kick off your good time. Until then, game on.